What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Code Talker deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play that can make some absolutely incredible boards by summoning out your insane Link monsters to help you go in for game. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Microcoder. Microcoder is one of the most powerful cards in the entire build. The ability of a Cyberse monster you control would be used as a Link summon for a Code Talker monster. This card in your hand can also be used as a material, which is an insane ability to be able to use that this card doesn't even have to be on the field to help you Link summon. Also, if this card is sent from the hand to the field to the graveyard as a material for the Link summon of a Code Talker monster, you can actually either add a Signet Spell or Trap card from your deck to your hand, which is the effect we're usually using, or if this card is on the field and was used as a material, you can actually add a level 4 Cyberse monster instead. But we always want to search out our Signet Spell or Trap card so we can instantly get to our copy of Codex. We then played 3 copies of Lady Debug. Lady Debug is the Stratos of the deck, with the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually add a level 3 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand, grabbing the exact card that you need. We then played 3 copies of Backup Adagnister. Backup Adagnister is definitely a 3 of in the build, and an awesome card we just got out of Alliance Insight, and this card is an extender and a searcher, with the ability if you control a Cyberse monster that was special summoned from your X deck, you can actually special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normally special summoned, you can actually add a Dark Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, then discard a card, which is a pretty cool effect to help us get to a bunch of different cards in this build. We then play a single copy of Wizard Adagnister. This card is really good as an extender in the deck, with the ability, if you control a Cyberse monster special summoned from the X deck, you can actually target a Dark Cyberse monster in your graveyard and special summon both of this card from your hand and that monster in defense position, which is a great effect to instantly bring out 2 monsters out on your side of the field to help you Link climb, which is absolutely insane. This card is definitely a 1 of in the build and just an awesome combo piece in the deck. We then played 3 copies of Firewall Defensor. Firewall Defensor is really good in the deck as a 3 of to help us Link climb in this build, because if this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for the Link summon of a Cyberse monster, you can special summon a Firewall monster from the deck, except another copy of Defensor, which we're usually summoning at our copy of Firewall Guardian. Firewall Guardian is amazing in this build because this card can be used as a Link material, and when it is, you can actually special summon this card back to your side of the field, because if this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for the Link summon of a Cyberse monster, you can special summon this card but banish when it leaves the field, helping you go in for more Link plays using this card. We also play a single copy of Firewall Phantom just in case we draw our copy of Guardian. I really like playing 2 targets in the deck for our Firewall engine, because just in case you do draw into one of the 2 of these monsters, you still have a target in the deck to be able to summon. But Phantom is really good as well, because if this card is sent to the graveyard for the material for a Link summon of a Cyberse monster, you can actually add a Signet Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect just in case you need to get to your copy of Codex. This card can instantly help you get to it, which is absolutely amazing, and this card is really good. But the only downside is then you have to discard a card, which can help us out a lot in the deck with cards like Dotscaper. We then play a single copy of MathMech Circular. The MathMech engine is so good in this deck, and it's just absolutely amazing that we finally have Circular back. This card is able that you can send a MathMech monster, except another copy of this card, from your deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, which you're always sending your copy of MathMech Sigma to the graveyard off this card's effect. And if a MathMech monster is normally special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you can actually add a MathMech Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand, so we can instantly grab our copy of Equation, which is a searchable monster reborn in this deck. We play a single copy of Sigma. Sigma is great in the deck as a 1 of to go along with our copy of Circular, as this card is ability if you control no monster in the extra monster zone while this card's in the hand of the graveyard. You can special summon this card but banish when it leaves the field, which will make your copy of Circular go off, so we can use it to be able to search out our copy of MathMech Equation. We play a single copy of MathMech Addition. MathMech Addition is a great addition to this deck because this card lets us target a face-up monster on the field. That monster gains 8,000 attack points, and we can special summon this card from our hand, which is a great ability to instantly bring this card out to our side of the field, just to give us an additional monster to be able to summon. We play 3 copies of Parallel XZ. Parallel XZ is really good in the deck as a 3-of, because if you do Link Summon, you can special summon this card from your hand to a zone that monster points to, which is a great ability to instantly bring this card out to your side of the field. And also, if this card is special summoned to your side of the field, you can special summon an additional Parallel XZ from your deck, but you have their attack points. Both of those monsters have attack points, and you make them both level 4, which is a really cool ability just to be able to bring out 2 monsters out to your side of the field. And I love that about Parallel XZ, to help you just get 2 monsters out on the field. We play a single copy of Code Exporter. Code Exporter is really good as a 1-of in the build, as if a Cyberse monster you control would be used as a link material for a Code Talker monster. This card in your hand can also be used as a material, which is a great effect that basically is similar to the effect of your copy of Microcoder, but in this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard as a material for the link summon of a Code Talker monster. You can target a level 4 or lower Cyberse monster in the graveyard and add it back to your hand, which is the effect we're always using on this card. We play a single copy of Backup Secretary. Backup Secretary is great as an extender in the deck, because if you control a Cyberse monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. We play a single copy of Code Generator. Code Generator is amazing in the build as a 1-of, and has a similar effect to your copy of Code Exporter and Microcoder. And if a Cyberse monster you control would be used as a link material for a Code Talker monster, this card in your hand can also be used as a material, and if this card is sent from the hand or the field to the graveyard as a material for the link summon of a Code Talker monster, you can send a Cyberse monster with 1200 attack or less from your deck to the graveyard, or if this card's on the field as used as a material, you can add that card to your hand instead, which is a pretty cool ability, but we're usually using it in our hand to be able to send our copy of Dotscaper to the graveyard, because Dotscaper can special summon itself back to her side of the field. So if it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card, but you can only use that effect once per duel. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom to round out the monsters. Ash Blossom is just amazing in the build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is definitely a 1-of in the build to basically just stop our opponent's hand traps. We're going in for all of our plays. We play a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is great in the build as a 1-of to basically again stop your opponent's hand traps like Ash Blossom or Infinite Impermanence. We play a single copy of Mathmech Equation. Mathmech Equation is searchable in the deck, and it is a searchable monster reborn that you can grab off your copy of Circular. We then play 2 copies of Cynet Codex. Cynet Codex is really good as a 2-of in the build, and I absolutely love playing 2 in this deck, just in case 1 does get popped or banished for some reason. You do have an extra copy of it just in case. But this card is an insane ability, and basically what the entire deck revolves around. This card is the ability that if a Code Talker monster is special summoned from the action deck to your field, except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters to add a Cyberse monster with the same attribute from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the action for the rest turn except Cyberse monsters, even if this card leaves the field. Also, you cannot add other monsters with that same attribute to your hand by the effect of Cynet Codex this turn, and you can only activate the effect of Cynet Codex once per chain. Meaning, you can actually go through all 6 different attributes to be able to add all of them from our deck to our hands, which we're not playing water in this build, but it's really good to be able to use in this deck to be able to grab multiple different Cyberse monsters from your deck to your hand, so you can keep going in for your link plays by just link summoning, which is actually insane. This card is what the entire deck revolves around, and just helps us out a lot to be able to link climb in this build. We then play 3 copies of Cynet Mining. Cynet Mining is definitely a 3-of in the build, because this card is basically the Rhoda for the deck, letting you send a card from your hand to the graveyard to add a level 4 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand, which is such a powerful effect. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Cynet Conflict. Silent Conflict is really good as a 1-of in the build. It's basically the Infernity barrier of the deck, with the ability that when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a Code Talker monster, negate the activation. If you do, banish that card. If you do that, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects of cards with the same original name as that card that was banished until the end of the next turn. And you only activate one of this card per turn, but you only need a single copy because it is searchable through a lot of means in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is really good as a 3-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with a single copy of Allied Code Talker Adagnister. This card is an amazing new card we just got out of Alliance Insight, and it's such an awesome boss monster to be able to make as the last summon of your turn. With the ability in this card is Link Summon, you can special summon as many Cyberse monsters with 2300 attack from your graveyard as possible to zones this card points to, and if you do, this card gains 500 attack for each. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn. Also, when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can actually tribute one of those Link monsters that this card points to negate the activation if you banish that card, which is such a powerful effect to be able to use. And this card is an amazing card to be able to play in the deck as an awesome new boss monster. We play a single copy of Neo Tempest Terahertz. Neo Tempest Terahertz is just an awesome OTK piece in the deck that helps us send cards to the graveyard like our copy of Deceive Worm to make this card absolutely massive to help us swing in for game. We made a single copy of Access Code Talker. Access Code is just really good to be able to make and such a classic boss monster to be able to summon. This card comes out absolutely massive in this deck and can easily OTK your opponent by just basically banishing different Link monsters in the graveyard of different attributes. Plus it just comes out absolutely massive to help us go in for game. Plus it has 2300 attack points, which can be used with our copy of Allied Code. We made a single copy of Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon is just really cool to be able to play in the deck and such a classic boss monster to be able to make in this deck, and it's really cool to be able to summon. We made a single copy of Decode Talker Heat Soul. Heat Soul is great because every single turn we're going to draw a card off this card by just paying 1,000 life points, which is so cool to be able to do. Plus, it's our Fire Code Talker monster. We made a single copy of X Code Talker. X Code Talker helps us lock down zones. It's just really good as a 1-of, and I absolutely love its arrows. And then a single copy of Protect Code Talker. Protect Code Talker is really good as a 1-of in the build, as your opponent cannot target Link 4 higher monsters you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by battle. And if you control a Firewall Link monster, quick effect, you can actually banish Link monsters from your graveyard whose combined Link rating equals exactly 3 to special summon this card in the graveyard, but banish when it leaves the field. Helping you bring this card back to your side of the field so you can help you Link, which is really, really cool. We lay a single copy of Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker is great because this card is basically a walking monster reborn, and one of the most important cards in the entire extra deck. I'm laying a single copy of Splash Mage. Splash Mage is also very good in this build because this card is basically a walking monster reborn. I'm laying a single copy of Code Talker Inverted. Code Talker Inverted is great in the build, and since this card is Link Summon, you can special summon a Cyberse monster from your hand to a zone this card points to, which is a pretty cool effect. I'm laying a single copy of G-Golem Crystal Heart. G-Golem is really good to help us bring back our copy of Transcode Talker back to our side of the field, as this card helps us bring back Earthlink monsters back to our side of the field. A single copy of Salamangrate Baylynx. Baylynx is only played in this deck for its Link arrow, which is why I like playing this card in the build, as it has a single downwards arrow and makes it very easy to help us U-Link our opponent. And then a single copy of Lingaribo. Lingaribo is great because this card helps us counter trap cards, plus it's really easy to make as the first Link summon out of our extract to be able to summon out to our side of the field. This or Baylynx is usually the first card we make. And then a single copy of Alambertium. Alambertium is great to be able to work with our MathMech engine because this card helps us search MathMech Edition, but you can also use this card to search out your copy of Circular if you need to, which is really, really cool because this card has the ability that if this card is summoned to your side of the field, you can actually detach 2 materials on this card to add a MathMech card from your deck to your hand. And then a single copy of Deceive Worm. Deceive Worm is great in the build to be able to use their copy of Neo Tempest Terahertz, because this card is a spell trap negate, which is really cool to be able to summon, or basically just use this card off the effect of your copy of Neo-Tempest Heriturts, because during the main phase you can special summon a Cyberse monster from the hand, which is a pretty cool ability, but the main effect you're going to be using on this card is when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, while you control a Link 4 or higher Cyberse monster, quick effect, you can banish the card in the graveyard or the field to be able to negate that activation, which we're never summoning this card, we're just using its effect as a spell trap negate. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Code Talker deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try, because it's insane how powerful it is and the insane boards you can actually make with this deck. And it's so cool that we finally got some new cards for this deck. So, that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can come per notification squad. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.